love is natural.
It shouldn't be.
It is never a natural phenomenon. It's work. As I say it and I'll keep saying many, many times. Love is not a natural phenomenon. It is something, it's an art. Love is an art. If you read the book of Songs of Songs, it is poetic. My darling is like a gazelle coming down from the hills of what is like this. She has pomegranates and this and that.
Her feet.
Her feet are like. Love is not about sex.
Yo. Yes.
Yes. Because many young people, when they feel, hey, I am attracted to this person, the next thing they want is sex.
They attach love to sex.
They attach, precisely. But love is not, sex is not love. That is why we have people who are called sex commercial workers.
Yes.
They have no emotional
attachment
to that act. Men who are going through midlife crisis, tunahitaji kuguza kipara na kuguza whatever else, so that and even to touch their male genitals, so that at least you help them to because of the challenge of erectile dysfunction. It is possible, so that you play with him and with his organ slightly before time, the foreplay. But for a lady, you have really to walk that journey with your woman. The psalmist will talk about the ears, and he talked about the kissing of the earlobes. That was the Bible. Yeah. So definitely it was God who made it written there. And he talked about kissing. Yes. And he talked about kissing the neck. Yes. Kissing the downwards. Yes. To the toe of the feet. Of the feet of the woman. Yes. Yes.
That man was very romantic.
Women is a sex organ. Tell men, please, and listen to me carefully. For those who listen to Swahili dialect, it say, chovya chovya buyu la asali.
Chovya chovya humaliza buyu la asali.
Chovya chovya humaliza buyu la asali.
Yeah.
Don't deal with every single part of your woman's of your woman's or your wife's anatomy, of your girl's anatomy in one day. Do it sparingly. Because if you get a time, Helen, and you find that excitement goes.
It wears off.
It does. Yes. For those people who are listening to me and have been married for some time, you can tell me for a fact that there was a time you used to greet just to see that man appearing somewhere in the street. Yes. And
your body misbehaves.
Was electrified.
And now he undresses now.
He undresses before you. Hi. And you walk, collect a towel the other side. And you go cooking. Nothing.
You're very right, my man.
Spare.
Yeah. Slowly.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Eat slowly.
The eyes today.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
If the eyes are still working, why are you going to the ears?
HKD. Inspire Hope.
Thank you so much for taking your time to join us from whichever country or continent you're watching us from. May the Lord God bless you. We count you as a blessing. Have you subscribed on this channel? Kindly consider subscribing here, because by doing so, you are a blessing to us. And for the longest time, I've requested you to kindly click on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we upload new content. Here, we are all about inspiration, and we are here to inspire hope in people and to inspire a good Christian life. And I always say that on Helen Kibali Digital, we are always passionate about inspiring hope. And also, we acknowledge that the family unit is an important unit, and especially if you want to progress in life or you want to do anything from the family setup, that is where our blessing comes from. We acknowledge that marriage is a beautiful thing and marriage works, but at some point, some fail, unfortunately. For the longest time, marriage has been idolized, and people think that love is enough to sustain marriage, and that is a misconception. Today, we have an amazing person on set. He's a reverend and also a counseling psychologist who is going to shed some light, and also a writer, by the way, on the same topic. He's going to shed some light on why love is not enough to sustain marriage. I know some of you are wondering, because all your life you've thought that love is enough to sustain that marriage. It's not. So allow me, with a lot of respect and humility, to welcome on set an amazing man of God. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm excited to be here and basically to participate and contribute to this great topic and to help the world to know that there are many ways really to sustain marriage and to have marriage work. And love is only one of them. And of course, understanding exactly what love is the most important, because many times people take love as just a feeling, an emotional feeling. And so as a result, then people, when you leave it at that, then it is possible to get fixated at some point and never able to move on. But I want to say that love really works miracle.
Yeah.
But then there is much more than love that we needed to look at. Yeah.
Wow. Kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you. My name is Reverend Elijah Gachunga Mwangi, and I love the Lord as my Savior. I'm excited to be here. I'm a family man. I'm married to one wife called Lucy.
Very important.
Lucy Gachunga. For the last 21 years. Yes, we have walked that journey for the last 21 years, and it has been an amazing journey. Of course, with ups and downs, but we are excited to see that the Lord has kept on leading and guiding us and allowing us to weather through the storms and to get where we are today. I'm a father of 3. Yeah, I am a father of teenagers and above, and young adults. And so it's a great joy to be here. I'm also a minister of the gospel within the Anglican fraternity in the Anglican Church Diocese of Nairobi, where currently we are serving at Githurai, a parish called ECK Shalom. Yes.
Wow. All those hats, one person. Exactly. You are an author.
Yes, I am. Well, God led me to pen down what the Lord laid in my heart, because I discovered that my pulpit ministry was a little limiting. It is possible that people will listen to me when I'm there and when I'm alive. But after I'm long gone, I felt that I needed to leave some prints that will help people to connect with my soul and connect with the philosophy that God has laid in my heart about life. I've written on marriage, I'm writing, and I've written on parenting. So I've delved on a number of areas, and I'm excited to say that so far we want to thank God, because the kind of reports that I receive from people who have been consuming those materials are quite positive. Yes.
Wow.
And we have seen marriages being restored. Some of the marriages that were broken being restored as a result of that.
Yeah.
I'm also a counselor, so definitely I sit a lot with people from all walks of life, married couples, teenagers who are going through issues, and maybe they are going through identity crisis and such kind of issues. And you're able to walk with them and guide them and help them really to focus in life. Yes, and it's quite an exciting thing really, to see lives changing and transforming, and people fitting in well in the fabric of the society. Because you see, God created us to fit somewhere. No one was created as an island. We were all created to fit in somewhere. Yeah. But of course, the major institution that helps everything to be knit together is actually the unit of family and marriage.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, love is not enough to sustain marriage. By the time I was thinking about that topic, I thought probably I'm very brutal. But I've had a sit down with you several times, and a few other people, and every time I mention that, they're like, you're very right. Marriage, and for the longest time I thought that it is marriage, it is love that sustains marriage. Love cannot sustain marriage.
marriage, it's possible to sustain marriage with love, but love is not enough. But again, even when you think about love, it is important to conceptualize and to break it down and ask ourselves, what do we mean exactly by love? Because you see, if you narrowed it down to the point of emotional feeling, the attraction, the kind of connection that people feel that they have, definitely that cannot take you even for 2 years. By the time you're clearing the first year, you already have enough challenges. So it is important, number one, to redefine some of these things and rephilosophize love. I think that is critical, that you're able to rephilosophize love, so that love then becomes a tool that aids love, aids marriage. How do we do that? Number one is by saying love is not inanimate. Love must be alive.
Yes.
So it must be able to grow. It must be felt. It must work out stuff. It must give results. It should be like a tree that is able to grow. You water it, you put manure at it, so that eventually you're able to get fruits.
Yeah.
So it must be work. So then I look at love today as the work somebody does to keep something that you value. Helen, if you value your house, if you value your jersey, if you value something that you have, even if you value your phone,
Yes.
definitely there are things that you're going to do. You're going to make sure you have a screensaver, you're going to have something that can protect your screen, a screen protector. You want to do so much so that you can keep that thing because you value it.
Yeah.
So some of the times you're going to have a holder for it. You're going to have a special place where you place it from time to time.
Yeah.
Because you value it. So love, for it even to be able to sustain marriage to a certain degree, then it must be looked at as work, the work that I do, that I give myself an assignment every morning, that there is something I must do, Helen, so that by the time I'm getting back home, Lucy may see somebody or something she would want to appreciate.
Yeah.
Because of how I have packaged myself for her. And I want to believe that wherever she is, she's also working very hard to package herself for me, so that she is able to see some newness in me. So number one, I think love can take us to a certain degree, but then we must also rephilosophize love.
So love is work.
Yes.
Yo.
Precisely, Helen.
It is not just a feeling, an emotion, it's work.
You know, even for young people when they are dating, you discover, especially for men, they labor so much. You have to get some money, take your bae out for lunch,
yes,
and all that. You have to keep on giving this person some goodies so that this person feels appreciated. You must treat this person differently. And at times you have to go you have to spend so much for you to be able to keep this person.
Yeah.
So love is work. Is the effort you put. Vijana kule nje wanasema love ni effort. Love ni effort. Maisha ni effort. Kama utaweza kuweka effort in anything, you can't keep it. You cannot have it.
Yeah.
And you know, lifestyle is also changing from time to time. So you do not want your relationship to remain analog, right? Wewe bado uko na TV ile analog, unajaribu kuweka ma aerials kule juu, so that you can keep following programs. No. Today you want to have a Wi-Fi, just Wi-Fi, and there you are. You have every channel that you need, and you can access anything that you want. So it is work, and it is evolving. It must also be evolutional. It must also be evolving from level to level. It cannot be very, very static. So it's a journey, and you must take it as such. Yes.
Why do you believe that love alone as a segment is not enough to maintain marriage?
Wow. Because marriage is set up in so much more. Is set up in so much more.
Yeah.
It is not limited to the confines of your house.
Yes.
It is not limited to your bedroom.
Yes.
It is not limited to the kind of romance and good stories and good times that you spend together.
Yeah.
Marriage is beyond that. Marriage is responsibility.
Yes.
You charge yourself with a responsibility to accommodate another person
Yeah.
who is coming from a very different background, who probably doesn't understand why you do things the way you do them. And so you've got to take a journey, number one, to make sure that you walk a journey of understanding your loved one. I think the next pillar that we need really to look at is marriage. To sustain marriage should be actually understanding. That you work and labor very hard to be able to understand your spouse. Actually, if you remember in the book of Daniel, the Bible says that those who know their God shall be powerful and shall do exploits.
Yes.
So it tells us that we begin to tap from God
Yeah.
from the level at which we understand. The much you understand God,
Yeah.
the much you're able to understand, to enjoy what God can provide.
Yes.
So definitely now telling us that similarly, because we are created in the image of God,
Yeah.
it is also possible and it is true that the more you understand your spouse, the better you are able to enjoy their company, the better you are able to be of value, the more you are able to have, you know, some kind of connection with that person even deeper and deeper. Say for instance, somebody who is coming from a background that hurt this person so very much and severed his or her emotions. Somebody who was able to develop some temperaments or some way of looking at life that is completely odd
Yeah.
from what is normative. It is possible that this person will never understand the language of saying, I love you.
Yeah.
This person would want to see, I feel you.
Yes.
And you cannot tell me you feel me unless you understand me.
Yes.
If somebody has lost a business, somebody has lost a close relative, a close kin, you walk with them and the language you use is the language of understanding that this person has suffered loss. There are times you don't have a word to speak to them.
Yes.
One time I walked with a couple that was married, wedded in church, and they stayed in that marriage for more than a year or so. And this man comes to me and tells me, by the way, huyu msichana namrudisha kwao. Actually, he called me and told me I am sending her packing. Because he could not understand why every time he approaches his wife, the wife becomes teary. But once, the moment we sat down and decided to go through a firewalk, I call it a firewalk, a journey of wanting to dig up the things that we went through when we were young. When it came to the chance of that young lady to share, he said how much he was abused sexually by his own father. How he was abused sexually by his uncle, where he fled to, he took refuge in. And how he was gang raped by 3 men. And so anytime the husband walks into the house and bangs the door behind, she would remember and recount the experiences she used to have with her own father. When he would sneak in anytime she was alone in the house and she was coming to molest her and to abuse her sexually. So those memories kept on recurring in her mind. So every time this person talked, you know, did or acted in such a manner to suggest violence, she would switch off and remember those kind of life that she led. Anytime you'd bang the door, again, he would trigger emotions. But after having now our sessions and counseling moment with her, with him, with the two, for several sessions, then this lady and and men are together today, more than 10 years today. And so it tells us that it is possible when you understand your spouse. What do you mean by understanding our spouse, really? It means understand their background. And at times it is important as we walk together, and especially during courtship, we are able to have moments of truth and really share what is it I went through when I was growing up. Because that forms my fears. It also forms some walls around me. And those walls at times are not broken easily by what you tell me. They are not broken easily by what you give me. They are only broken by you shedding tears with me in that getting back memory lane and shedding tears with me for what I went through, and assuring and affirming me that I am okay, though I have gone through that journey.
I am
and
safe.
that we can still move on, and that there is hope for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You cannot encourage somebody who you don't know that went through issues that got him or her fixated in the past. So that is why it is important that you walk a journey of understanding each other. And I tell many couples, get a moment of truth. Just take some time away and share your life. Share your life and just put it on the table and say, this is what I went through. And I don't know. And every time I feel or I sense this is what goes through my head.
It triggers me.
Yes. It creates it causes me to switch off even from you. So definitely it is very important to understand the past of your spouse. It is also very important to understand the present fears. What are the things that this person fears most even today? Because you see, there are people who fear that they may find themselves where their mom or their dad was while they were growing up.
And it's good that you've said that. I've had like 3 interviews over last week and today, and most of those women, when I sat down with them and wanted to know why did you stay, why this happened, they say, I looked back, saw that my mom was a single mother. I don't want that for myself. I have that fear. I looked at my upbringing. I am fearful that my children will also go through the same. So whatever happened in their past is still playing a big role in their present life.
Yes.
The fear itself.
It is post-traumatic trauma syndrome is what many people are going through. And there are times that people lock out from the real life and the real world simply because there are things, there are experiences they hold in their chest and in their mind, in their subconscious mind, which definitely keep on playing from time to time. And giving it a deep thought, it is possible that even having certain dreams in the night. There was a guy called Sigmund Freud, who was a great philosopher in the Greek world, and he said that dreams are balances of days' wishes. So the things that you thought and you wished could happen and you thought are capable of happening in the day is possible to play in the night. He said that when you're sleeping, your mind operates that time. You would still talk, today I would talk about operates like a computer. The way you want to switch off your computer, but it tells you, allow me to update first. Allow me to update first. Now, when people sleep, their subconscious mind wants to update all the files that they had, that have not happened, the things that have not happened, and they thought or desired that they could happen. So then they play. For you to rest, then you must update your files. And updating those files is what Sigmund Freud called dreams.
Wow.
So that is why you'll find somebody having nightmares next to you in the bed. And you're wondering, Sasa, you know, huyu anapiga duru usiku is, you know, making noise in the night is anapiga mayowe usiku, so you don't feel comfortable with this kind of a person. Or you'll find somebody just jumping off the bed and just you think he's praying, but this person is not praying. Has come from a very dreaded dream because of some of the experiences they had.
All right.
And it is possible to feel that this person somehow kuna mambo anafanya. Because some people would even think, oh, this person looks, if your spouse had an experience with witchcraft, they can think this person is waking up now to drift into this kind of a world.
Yeah.
If you talk about people who have been used and have know about these maginis, right? They will tell you, hey, huyu ni kama anaidaga usiku, alafu katikati ya usiku anarudi.
True.
And so you start now developing some kind of perspective about your spouse. And some people has thought even their spouses are using witchcraft simply because they wake up certain time in the night when these files are finished uploading.
All right. Now.
So understanding is very key.
Wow. One thing I've learned from everything that you've said is that apart from love, there are other things that play very important roles in maintaining marriage. Before we move from love, I want to know, this might sound okay.
No, that's fine.
Yes. If love alone is not enough to sustain marriage, what is?
I would say it's commitment, full-time commitment. You know, marriage in itself is a commitment to share your life. You were alone, you were sufficient. You could handle your things your way. But you felt you want to invite somebody and you allow this person to interfere with your spaces and with your life.
Interfere.
The word is interfere. That's very deliberate. Allow this person to interfere. So then you have to commit yourself to allow that kind of interference to keep happening in your life.
And be okay with it.
Yes. You know, kuna wakati they were saying sisi hatupangwingwi. Sasa, if you want to get married and you want to walk a journey of marriage and you want to really relate to mean it, then you must accept kupangwa.
Hey, okay.
You must accept kupangwa.
Whether man or woman.
Whether you are a man or a woman, both of your spaces are intruded. So the man's space has already been
interfered with.
Yes.
Yes.
The lady's space have also been interfered with, right? So definitely, if you don't allow this kind of interference and this kind of intrusion and make it become friendly and agile to this kind of interference, it is possible to lose it completely. Yes. So that every time when your spouse suggests something different from what is normative with you, something different from what you're known to, something different from what you have been enjoying all along, then you can say, wait a minute, let me give it a try. Let me listen to her a little more. Let me think through this together. Because he or she has a reason why is doing that kind of suggestion in that space. So definitely is a commitment.
Yes.
And just the way the scripture talks about God's love, and God coming to save the world, it says, for God so loved the world that he gave. That was a commitment. He offered himself by offering his son to come and die. And what happened exactly, to be precise, is that he left his comfort. So definitely leaving your comfort, Helen, to offer some comfort to your spouse is making your marriage work. All right? So definitely is a commitment. Now, being a commitment, it will allow you to engage your ears to listen, right? So that your spouse can frequently and fully communicate what is in their heart to you. Number two, being a commitment, then you must put aside prejudice. Prejudice, because most of the times we walk into marriage with a lot of wrappings, and that's why I talked about understanding. Now, that prejudice that this person is a weakling, so doesn't know how to do this, that prejudice again brings people down. That you'll find your spouse finishing your sentences with the wrong words. Yes. Unajaribu kuongea unasema mimi nilikuwa nafikiria tuende ndio, and then anakuambia oh, tukapande hiyo miti.
Kwa kupanda miti.
But you meant something else. Maybe you wanted to go and inspect a tap together.
Yes.
In the bathroom, But immediately ukisema hivyo, that person is already making up a conclusion in their mind. Allow your spouse to complete their part of their side of communication, their speech. Allow them to communicate, to complete. Let them say what they wanted to say. And as they say it, just don't be quick also to think you have comprehended what exactly she wanted to say. It is important to ask in form of a question and ask them, did you mean 1, 2, 3? Because our mind is also coded. So if you don't want to follow on and seek a clarity from whatever your spouse is saying, it is possible to jump into a certain action that is going to offend your spouse even further. And what that does, Helen, is that with the time, that person blocks you. Ukijaribu kuongea anasema endelea tu. Najua hata nikisema kitu, I know even whatever I'm going to say,
my opinion does not matter.
Doesn't count.
And that is, there are so many marriages where you hear the husband says, okay, like they do what they want. Or the wife saying, even if I told him, he would not agree to it or he would not listen. He does as he pleases. Because the spouse probably does not give an ear to whatever is being said.
Yes.
Now, what are the common misconceptions that people have about love, and specifically in marriage? Because as a young girl, I've told you, I always thought that marriage is all about love, lovey-dovey stuff. I go there, we kiss all the time, we have a good time. A period, that is it, can be sustained by just that. I love him to the moon and back. But that is not true.
Well, you see, most of the some of the misconceptions about love in marriage. Number one is that love is natural. Some people say, it's natural. I mean, tunajipatanga tu, we just find ourselves just gelling and moving and living a good life together. Love is not natural. It is not natural. Just the way if somebody is born in a family that has money, money is not natural. Somebody labored to have it on the table, to have it stuck in the accounts. So somebody worked somewhere, right? So number one misconception is that love is natural.
It shouldn't be.
It is never a natural phenomenon. It's work. As I say it and I'll keep saying many, many times. Love is not a natural phenomenon. It is something, it's an art. Love is an art. If you read the book of Songs of Songs, it is poetic. My darling is like a gazelle coming down from the hills of what is like this. She has pomegranates and this and that.
Her feet
are like, all those kind of things. Her hair, it's very poetic. And poem is art.
Yeah.
Poetry is art. You develop it, you grow it, you shape it, you sharpen it, you make it into what it is. So it is important that everybody who is listening to us here understand that love is not natural. So that is number one. Number two, love is not about sex.
Yes.
Yes, because many young people, when they feel, hey, I am attracted to this person, the next thing they want is sex.
They attach love to sex.
They attach, precisely. But love is not, sex is not love. That is why we have people who are called sex commercial workers.
Yes.
They have no emotional
Attachment.
attachment to that act at all, right? They are doing it for other reasons. There were people in the olden days who did not know the pleasure of sex. Actually, they had sex for procreation and procreation alone, right? This is quite a recent development that keeps
Occurrence. Where you're having it for pleasure.
Some of the communities in the country, and especially in Kenya here, that practiced FGM, female genital mutilation, what was called female circumcision, basically was to detach emotion from sex.
Yeah.
Yes, because they removed the organ that has the reason to lead someone to orgasm, a woman to orgasm, and that can make somebody to begin feeling attached to another. That is what they did, right? So sex wasn't really for pleasure. They actually
Until now.
They actually removed the pleasure so that it becomes for procreation alone.
And there are women until now, they're in marriage and they don't know what pleasure during sex is.
Well, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, Helen, because, you know, just the way we say love is an art, even sex itself is an art. Because you have to have a moment where you organize and prepare your spouse, and especially for the lady. For a man, once they look at a woman and they love, and a man loves that woman, or feels drawn to that woman, and James and John is throwing the flies
Tantrums.
away. And tantrums. And it is possible.
Yes.
So that person doesn't need anything else. No. The only people who would need some assistance are now people who are going through what we call midlife crisis. Men who are going through midlife crisis, tunahitaji kuguza kipara na kuguza whatever else, so that and even to touch their male genitals, so that at least you help them to because of the challenge of erectile dysfunction. It is possible, so that you play with him and with his organ slightly before time, the foreplay. But for a lady, you have really to walk that journey with your woman. The psalmist will talk about the ears, and he talked about the kissing of the earlobes. That was the Bible. So definitely it was God who made it written there. And he talked about kissing. And he talked about kissing the neck, kissing the downwards, to the toe
of the feet
of the feet of the woman.
Yes. That man was very romantic.
Women is a sex organ. Just the way we are taught by musicians that your body is a musical instrument. It has a resonator. It has everything, right? So definitely also the body of a woman is basically a whole sex organ, from the hair to the toe. So every man must be aware of touching and caressing those spaces. But I tell men, please, and listen to me carefully. For those who listen to Swahili dialect, it say, chovya chovya buyu la asali.
Chovya chovya humaliza buyu la asali.
Chovya chovya humaliza buyu la asali. Don't deal with every single part of the woman's of your woman's or your wife's anatomy, of your girl's anatomy in one day. Do it sparingly. Because if you get a time, Helen, and you find that excitement goes.
It wears off.
It does. Yes. For those people who are listening to me and have been married for some time, you can tell me for a fact that there was a time you used to greet just to see that man appearing somewhere in the street.
Yes.
And your
body misbehaves.
Was electrified.
And now he undresses now.
He undresses before you.
Hi.
And you walk, collect a towel the other side. And you go cooking. Nothing.
You're very right, my man.
Spare.
Yeah. Slowly.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Eat slowly.
The eyes today.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
If the eyes are still working, why are you going to the ears? If the ears are still working, why the neck? Why do you want to kill this person? Atashinda hapo akipiga nduru.
Uko masikio, even before they sensualize uko kila mahali, uko kwa kidole ya mguu.
It's like now you are eating the, what do we call it? The corn cake. And you also want to eat
the ones that are
even the wrapper. Spare it. You can chew the wrapper later. You can chew the wrapper later.
Yeah.
If your spouse, if your wife is ready for sex and is calling you into her, don't keep disturbing her beyond. Go into her. Do this thing, and then you'll be okay. So what I want to say is that sex is really, again, not love.
Yes.
The reason why you want to mishandle even your wife or your husband is because you see them as a sex tool or a sex object. As she walks into the house, sex object. I have a lot of respect to quite a number of people who have been talking about sex lately. But I have a little reservation on some people who say, do it in the car, do it in the kitchen, do it in the table room. Some of these things, I mean, there is decency.
Common decency.
Sasa, when you are in a car and it is shaking all over, maybe it doesn't even have enough shock of
especially you, Motugateri, where you are in the car and then the car why?
Do we have another tremor that is happening around this car alone? Because these other cars are okay. And then they are coming to inspect, and then they find you there. What will you have to say?
Yeah.
And it is your spouse.
Yeah.
So sex is not everything.
And people might even assume, because now you're in the car, you are wherever, okay, in how do I say in English
this
that
is not your,
this is not your spouse.
Yes.
Because why are you doing, you have a home.
And that home is for that.
Yes.
You have a bedroom. And that is for that.
All right.
You can talk love language to your spouse from the living room because you understand your coded love language. But you cannot take it to a certain level. At times I would say some level of decency is good.
Yeah.
So I said the second misconception is that, and I've talked about it really so much, is that sex is love. Really, sex is not.
It is not, yes.
It's not commonly love. Sex is an act of expressing love. Sex is just an act of expressing love. So if you express love in a certain way, doesn't mean that is love. The conception about love is that love is in receiving.
Repeat. Say it again. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Some people think that love is in receiving. And most of the times, and that is where most of the men give up. Because every time your spouse is looking into your back to see what is in the car trunk, what is in the back seat of your car, to see if you brought them home something.
Oh, even in your wallets.
And even in and at times they help themselves with
Yeah.
with the wallet, and they claim there is no boundary. Once we became one, there is no boundary between your money and my money. That should actually be the case. But there should be some level of responsibility, because you don't really know why this money was cashed and it is in the wallet. So probably it is more responsible to ask, can I use 1,000? Can I use 2,000? You don't really have to explain what you're using it for, but I need to be aware that you're spending that money, so that as you spend it, I don't go looking for that money thereafter. And then I'm ransacking everywhere and asking, kuna mtu aliona pesa hapa? Is there anybody who has seen some money misplaced somewhere? And I think it's very, so it is not really in receiving. In fact, the scripture says, it is more blessed to give
than to receive.
Now this is a secret that many people have not discovered. That any time you are committed to give out, you receive.
Yeah.
And that is what Proverbs says in Proverbs 18 verse 6. It says, a gift opens the way
For the giver. Yes.
So there are things that your husband will do to you because of what you give him, because of what you do to him, because of how much you are useful in his life.
I've spoken to many women, and they say that they're not in marriage because of love. So how valuable is love in marriage?
Well, that will take us to the book of Isaiah that says there will come a time where 7 women will identify with one man. And they tell him, please, we have our money, we have this and that, but we just want to be called by your name. Because there was a time that it looked like you are a social misfit if you didn't have a
man.
If you didn't have a man in your life. So come to your question that some women are saying they have no need for.
No, they are in marriage, not because of love.
No,
It's probably for the children. I am here for the children. I am here. What will the church sing? What will my parents say? What will the community say? Will I get the votes that I want if I am not married? So if you listen to that person, you know, definitely they are actually saying it, that I'm not here because I love this person. I'm not here because I am in love with this person. And probably they might be right. Maybe the things they went through in that marriage, and as we said, it wears off, the love wears off. Probably it has weared off.
Yeah.
So now it begs the question, how important or how vital is love in marriage?
It's a pillar. I said it's a pillar. I would say I talk about 3 major pillars: love, understanding, and the fear of God. Which of course now you're alluding that there are those who say I am here because I don't know how the society will look at me or will see me from this point. But there are many challenges that people are going through today.
Even men.
Yes, many people are going through, both men and women. One of the biggest challenges they have is both of them are completely and equally empowered. And Mahatma Gandhi, at one point he said, the fiercest animal in his days is an empowered woman.
Yo!
That was Mahatma Gandhi, it's not me. In his own wisdom, he felt that the fiercest animal in the world is not the lion, it's not the wild beasts, it's an empowered woman.
Yo, he must have seen a lot. To come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Probably he was Chege.
One of the biggest challenge is lack of balance. Lack of balance in life. Because you see, life really is about balance.
Yeah.
As I think about my marriage, how do I think about my personal intellectual empowerment? How does that go well with my career? How does my career feed into my spirituality? How does my spirituality feed into my philosophies? Because every human being is a philosophical being. Yeah? And that is why people wear what they wear, they live how they live, because of a certain perspective they have formed in life. There is a gentleman called Dr. Steve Stanko. He wrote a book about the 9 centers of humanity. And his biggest philosophy that he wanted to put across is that life is a balance.
Yeah.
Well, he's a Mormon. He's a Mormon. He's
Yo.
a Mormon. But I have read a number of his books. It's a very nice book. You can get it from some of the bookshops, bookstores in Nairobi, in the city of Nairobi. And he talked about balance. And what we lack and what make many people feel they are misplaced in their own marriages is because of lack of balance.
Yeah.
Either the spouse have failed to balance work and home and family and what we call emotional care and probably responsibility to children and responsibility to family at large.
Yeah.
That person has failed to balance. Of course, they also say that work done repetitively will make you really dull. So it is important also to have some play, have breaks and go and enjoy life. And of course, people have gone clubbing and all that and have done more clubbing than the real thing, the core business of marriage and family. So definitely that again puts them off balance. So really what is critical in life and what makes many people feel like they are in the wrong place is because of not being able to strike a balance as a couple. And unfortunately it becomes really difficult to return the balance when it is destroyed.
And that's very important, because I would want to understand for couples that, like we said, this thing wears off at some point, the love and the lovey-dovey stuff and all that. How are couples that are drifting away, how can they be able to navigate, like get back or strengthen their bonds? Because once that goes away, even their intimate moments are cannot be enjoyable, are not even there, because what is bringing them together, it now becomes a routine. It now becomes like something you're doing out of obligation. How can they be able to navigate back together?
2 things. One, I would say, don't let it get there. Because if you let it get there, it may be another huge work to come back. So it is important that you set objectives together. Business objectives if you're in business, and family objectives when you're married. Set them. Always evaluate your business objectives alongside your family objectives. And make sure you don't take more than a year to evaluate how are you faring in your marriage. Just the way you evaluate how you're faring on in your business, how you're faring on in your career, how you're doing well in whatever it is that you're doing, it is critical that you're also able to take enough time to evaluate how are we doing in our marriage. But that should be a continuous process, right? Make your marriage like a school also, where you keep reading and wanting to improve.
Yeah.
rising from where you were yesterday to a higher level today. As I said, if ecstasy can be able to go in some areas, you know, you have to study your spouse to be able to know imebaki wapi, where is it now, so that you follow it and you pursue it from where it is left, so that you can be able to keep on enjoying your life together. In the event that you discover that rain has started beating you, it is critical that you call yourself together. See if it is something you can be able to handle, the two of you. All right? But if you're already throwing tantrums on each other, I would say there will always be one party that will not want to go that high. And it is possible that this person can become the sanity point for that marriage, where you can be able to calm down your spouse and see if you can retreat away from the ordinary places and be able to think and figure out how do we navigate through certain storms that you think are there. One of the ways to be able to do that is make sure you do not discuss the problem, discuss your life. Don't discuss your problem that you're going through, discuss your life. Because your life is a passive occurrence. I mean, the problem is a passive occurrence that has come in your life. It is not something that is going to be there forever, right? Gloria Gaynor sang a wonderful song and she said, yesterday is gone and tomorrow may never be mine. Give me the strength to do what I must do.
Yes.
One day
at a time.
So I don't really encourage people, first of all, to discuss their problems. I want us to explore what connects us more than what puts us asunder. What brings us together more than what puts us apart is what need to form the first stage of your discussions. Because once you discuss things that can bring you together, what happens is that you develop what we call positive energy.
Yeah.
And once you have positive energy, Helen, it is possible to begin seeing positivity in your spouse. So when you be coming now to approach and to tackle the elephant in the house, it has already been reduced into a small safari ant. You can say, this one was biting our foot. This one, hey, you just pick it and throw it away. It is going to be that easy because you will have so much to protect than to expose. You will have so much to work for than to destroy. And so once you develop positive energy, it is very easy now to be able now to figure out how do you navigate the challenge that you have. And let me tell you, Helen, I don't know how you look at it, but most of the challenges that you see bulging up into a huge hill in marriages, many marriages that even separate people. If you sought to know the very origin, the primary factor that triggered that challenge, you'll be fascinated, you'll be surprised. Because you discover some of those begin to go different way because of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Where you put your toothpaste.
You pressed in the middle instead of, but then that puts me off.
It puts you off.
Yeah.
And it can destroy your whole day.
I know.
It doesn't matter whether you pressed it from the top or you pressed it from the bottom. At the end of the day, whatever size of toothpaste you wanted is what comes out. Now, let me excite you, Helen. And I recorded this in one of my books, Authentic Marriage.
Yeah.
I cancelled a couple a few years ago. That must have been 2010, 2011. So it's a few years ago. You're talking about around 16 years ago, 15 to 16 years ago, right?
Okay.
And this couple, when the wife called me early in the morning, she told me, I have packed. I am going back to my parents. I told her, it's okay. You go. Because she has called me to tell me she has packed. She's going home. So I told her, you go. She told me, that is what mchungaji, you can tell me. I thought you're going to be a bit more empathetic and be able to reach out. But I told her, but you've already concluded. You have already made up your mind of what you want to do. And she said, what else do I have to do? I told her, then unpack if you want us to talk. Unpack your stuff. Let us talk. And she did, graciously. And I told her, can you be able to talk to your husband? I want us to have a session today in the evening. Her husband was working in an accounting firm somewhere. And she was, at that time, she was also an educated lady, but she was in the house because they were raising their firstborn child, who was around a year. And she has pecked. And, well, she talked to the husband, and the husband was so gracious, he was able to come. So when he came, we talked. We had the first session that evening, and the second session, the third session, in different days. Until on one day, I asked the husband, he complained about very petty things. This, my wife, is a band spender. You'd go to the kitchen and you'd find pieces of ugali in the dustbin. When did you go to the kitchen to inspect the dustbin?
When?
I mean, I thought you were too tired really to go to the kitchen to inspect the dustbin, all the other things. How do you inspect a dustbin? But of course I kept those to my chest. Then slowly, you know, I find this, I find that. I asked him, when did you begin to see your wife misusing things? See, right from the time we were in our honeymoon. I said, I love you to the moon and back. That was in the moon time.
And back we don't know.
Yes. What did you notice? You know, anaweka toothpaste kama ya advertisement. The S.
Stingy man.
No, why are you talking about stingy man?
He saw me even with toothpaste.
That is
Jesus.
you're talking about, that is honeymoon time. You know, any other time you can sober up and be able to do that. But during honeymoon, you even had the audacity and the time really to begin thinking about how much
Toothpaste someone is using.
And maybe probably she wants to clean up her mouth so well so that you can enjoy kisses and all that.
Good explanation.
And I discovered there is a problem with him because he has an accounting background. He has a challenge of accounting, holding everybody accountable on anything entrusted into their hands.
Yeah.
So I told them, oh yeah, I have discovered nani ulimekuwa ukitumia vitu vibaya sana. So next time we will come and think through how do we do things right. So the next time they came, of course they would call me, we are coming, are you in the office? Yes. So of course I went out to meet them. He was driving a 4x4 car.
Whoa.
So I knew where to start.
You knew where to hammer.
So we went to the counseling room, and we had a wonderful time. Then I asked, "Hey, I like your car. How much fuel do you spend in a day? When the traffic jam is too much, around 1,500. Okay. Yeah. That's a good car. And how much do people spend from your from your residence to your workstation if you are commuting using matatu? Say maybe 70 to 80 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah, but you see, at least you can get really tired and stressed if you're using matatus. And I told her, I asked him, how many packets of wonga would your one day fuel
buy?
Then he looked at me and he said, Chugaji, what are you saying? What are you saying, Reverend? And I said, no, just tell me. How many packets? That time a packet of unga was less than 100 shillings. It was probably 70 shillings or thereabout.
Yeah.
A packet of, the biggest packet tube of Colgate was around 70 to 90 shillings. That time, the biggest, 400 milligrams.
Yeah.
Was around 70 bob to 90 shillings. Now, this tube is used in that home because it is only him and his wife
that are brushing
their teeth. So it goes for a month, all right?
Yeah.
Yet, he's making noise. So I helped him slowly by slowly. I told you are complaining because of a budget of your one-day fuel.
Oh. Yeah.
Because your wife is bending alongside you. So probably whatever we are wasting in the kitchen could probably be something like 200 shillings to 300 shillings in a month. Is it worth?
Yeah. Or that noise
that you have given your wife? Is it equivalent to the value you have pegged to your wife? The next time the guy was on his knees and he told me, Pastor, please don't hammer it beyond there. And he was literally, hysterically crying.
Niambia ulikanyanga shingo kabisa.
And he was very remorseful. And he apologized to his wife. Told her, please, I will never, and I give you a budget from this day. You will be spending and I will never follow it. That will be your money. Until you return back to work, that will be your money. And your kitchen shall remain your kitchen. Your space, your space. And because you don't come to inspect what I do at my place of work, I respect you. I am sorry. And that was supposed to mark the end of our sessions, but of course, no. So we had a few other sessions and then they are good to go. They are okay today. Many years down the line, they are okay today.
Ulikanyanga shingo sawa sawa.
We looked at we tried to check where the pain started to be.
Yeah.
And you see, as a counselor, you help them first of all to bring it out. Once they are also aware, then you serve them so that from there they can be able to pick the kind of antidote they want to put to the challenges they are going through in life. Yes.
Wow, beautiful. I've had a very, 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 very insightful show today, getting to learn all those things from you. But you cannot live here without me asking you this very important, very vital question.
Yes.
Is it possible? Is it logic to stay in a loveless marriage?
That's a tough question. A marriage where there is no love.
Yes.
That is a toxic marriage. But you can be in a marriage where there is no love, but there is tolerance. There is no love, but there is tolerance. So your work is to return the connection between the two of you. So we could have a marriage that has no love, but there is tolerance. You do what you do, I do what I do, we meet in the house, and the business goes on. All right? There are times even people have sex, all right, for the sake of life. Not for the sake of love, it's for the sake of life, for life to go on. And so it is possible, to stay in a loveless marriage. But if you can stay in a loveless marriage, you can make it loveful marriage.
If both of you are willing, not just one person.
We can put it that way, but I also want to say, if one is willing and committed, if one is willing and committed to save it, like the woman who wanted to go, but she was willing to save her marriage, right? Like that young man who wanted to send his wife away because he was thinking she was acting childish, right? It is possible to feel that things are not working. but you want to take a step in the right direction to make it work. If you came together in the first place, you can get back together even now.
Oh, so you believe that's...
Unless it is violent and it is endangering life.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Unless
if it's
violent and it's endangering life, then
what if it's endangering your mental health or mental stability?
what contributes to your mental health? I think that's the question then we ask ourselves. What contributes to my mental health is, number one, what I feed my mind with. That is number one. Number two, where do I draw my energies from? They will be positive or negative. Number three, who do I have moment for catharsis? You know, if you take something, even just a poisonous thing, and you vomit, it's possible to be relieved and get better. So do you have time and moment and are confident that you can go and vet out? Right? There was a certain philosopher who said, in the society, because of the stresses that the society has, it is important to create a place where people can go and jest out. You go and shout in the loudest way possible. Because the moment you release the toxins and the emotional feelings and the things you're going through in your mind, the moment you release them, you heal your heart. So mental well-being is a personal choice, right? And also, as much as it's a personal choice, but it must be an informed personal choice. The reason why many people are suffering from mental ill health is because they are not informed how to deal with life, right? So what are you telling yourself about every situation that you encounter in life? Number two, where are you drawing your positive and negative energies from? All right? And number three, then you ask yourself, who do I pour my pain to? Do I have a place where I go to pour my pain to?
Yeah.
Because at times, even the person who is hurting you is completely unconscious of what she is doing towards you. Doesn't understand the extent of the damage it's causing in your life.
Yeah.
So there are times you need just another person where you can go and pour. And most of the counseling psychologists that we have will help you. That you can go to them and they can guide you through a process of opening out and pouring your heart out so that you feel light. Because what they help you is to remove the burden, the baggages that you have carried for a long time, and help you to see those that are already gone are no longer acting in your life. And you have a life to live, and how do you live that life? So basically they will help you in doing that. So mental health, again, because once you leave your marriage, again you can also even suffer even more damage on your mental. Why? Because you can begin to think about the kind of contribution you did for your marriage or your family life to get where you left it at. And probably while you are out looking back and seeing somebody else enjoying that, my friend,
You're pained.
I talked to a certain lady. I like telling stories. I talked to a certain lady, and I know she will not be offended from when I'm sharing this, because I will share it anonymously. And she told me, Mchungaji, I don't know what to do, because I was married and my husband started going out. And as a result, I walked out. And when I walked out 2 years down the line, my husband married the very girl he was going to see out. Now today, I invite the same man to my house to meet my conjugal rights.
Whoa.
And the worst thing, because I have been persuading him actually to make me the second wife in that house.
Whoa.
So she is now serving herself as a side dish today.
Wait,
As we
and she
speak
was
with
the
you.
first
And
wife.
she was the first wife. All right? And the reason why she was so mad at that time is because at one point they were preparing to enjoy their moments. And then the real, quote unquote, the real girl, the real woman in the house called the man. And he said,
My
my
wife.
wife is calling.
Yeah.
I must go.
Yeah.
And she was left hanging. If you know what that means. She was left there.
Yeah.
Yes. She was coming to ask me, what do I do? What would you tell her?
Wait.
What you are supposed to do, you refuse to do.
That time for advice is long gone.
That time for that advice is now, with this man, is almost like gone. You need now to look at your life as yourself.
Yeah.
Because now what you're doing is the evil. That this,
You're breaking your husband's home.
It's actually the evil that girl was, that woman was doing when she was the side chick.
Yes.
So what you'd have done around that time is to make sure, because you're the main chick, can you offer everything and ask your man, what is it that you want me to do so that I can be the only chick in your life? Because now this is too much. You can't tell me you unataka kukwama pale na ilienda. Chapati ilikuwa kwa meza, ikagawanyishwa kama unaona. It has been consumed already. The meal is consumed. It's no longer there. So, yeah.
Oh, good to have you here today.
Most welcome.
May the Lord God bless you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having you many times as possible.
Thank you.
There's something in you that really can help us a lot, and especially people who are struggling in marriages and don't know how to go about it the godly way. Because voices are so many out here. And I know there are some people who are listening in and thinking, no, ati ask him, ati what he would want to, no. But that is the godly way, and that is the way it should be. However, if someone is abusive, if someone is hurting you, if someone is, wait, there are some things that if they go there, we tell you, hey, just jump. You don't stay in an abusive relationship where someone is beating you up, where someone, hey, no. We can't tell you. We'll just let you take some break, some time off until both of you come to a consensus. If never, what do we say? All right? Ama mchungaji.
Actually, when you step aside, when you move away for some time, you begin to heighten your value in your spouse's life because you create a gap.
Yeah.
And once you create that gap, that person will begin to want to talk with you. The worst you can do is to refuse to talk to him when he is intentional and when he is willing to talk with you.
Wow. Thank you. Anyone who'd want to talk to you for counseling, anyone who'd want your advice, anyone who'd want to come to church, give them your number. Thank
you very much. My contact, you can reach me through 0720-836-967. Or you may want to come to Facebook, Reverend Elijah Gachunga or Elijah Gachunga. You'll be able to find me there, and we can be able to talk a few things. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Being here, Helen. The pleasure is all mine. Asante sana. May the Lord God bless you. Amen. Asante. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and I hope that today's episode has been one amazing one, and you're taking insights and you're taking all this advice, because at some point in life you'll need them. If this does not inspire you, I don't know what else you're waiting for. If this inspires you, that is one more reason why you should subscribe on our YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe and hit on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we upload new content. Our official sponsors today are Terrain Africa Properties Limited. They sell you genuine pieces of land at very affordable prices, and they have a plan they call Smart Club Investment Plan, where you pay a deposit of 10,000 and you get to keep your piece of land or title after you meet your threshold.
Say for instance, you wanted a plot in Matu worth 350,000. You give them a deposit of 10,000. You contribute monthly, not less than 10,000. And when you get to your threshold, they give you your title. How amazing is that? So you don't have to be a millionaire for you to own a piece of land. You can discipline yourself to pay monthly. You can even pay more than 10,000. 50,000, 60,000 for them that are in Gulf or United States or wherever, diaspora. You can discipline yourself to do that. Commit your money and get your piece of land. And you can use this plan to buy as many pieces of land as possible, as long as those are their projects. Maybe in Matu, Joska, where Juja, Thika, Keno, Muranga, wherever. So kindly, when you think of buying a piece of land, think investing with Terrain Africa Properties Limited. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. May the Lord God bless you and do you good. We are at the amazing Ndanga Hotel. But I said, allow me to say Daga because I'm a Kikuyu and there's nothing you can do about it. All right? Thank you. See you on our next episode. May the Lord God bless you. Hello, darlings. We are stepping into the heart of rural town to explore a true classic. Ndanga Hotel is one of the finest hotels that has gracefully blended luxury with history. Not only will you find beautifully appointed rooms, but this hotel also boasts exceptional dining, inviting bars, and spacious conference halls for any event or business need. And for those traveling by car, there is ample parking to ensure a hassle-free stay. Kindly visit Ndanga Hotel and enjoy this iconic destination that continues to set the standard for comfort and service at the heart of rural town, opposite Petan's Driving School and Computer College.
HKD. Inspire Hope.